Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Steve with Press Start News, back with another Video Games Monthly unboxing and recent pickups. Let's take a look. Alright, here we go. We got the Video Games Monthly box for May. Go ahead and open it up. Let's get started. So we can get what we got out of there. We got two cards up, no one up. We got the regular card to tell you to update your library. This is something new. The Key Armory. Looks like they've partnered with a company that makes keys that look like swords. This is interesting. So there's a code to get 40% off your order. You can see some of the designs they have. That's pretty interesting. So I'm gonna have to take a look at the site, see what it's all about. Stick those over to the side. Alright, so before I get started, just in case those that don't know, haven't seen any other videos, or not familiar with it, Video Games Monthly, they send you a box every month, similar to like a Loot Crate or something like that. But instead of just random items and shirts and things like that, they send you video games. You can go from NES all the way up to, I think they're doing now PS2, might be PS2 Dreamcast, Xbox, original Xbox, I think might be the newest. It's been a minute since I checked the different systems that they have to see what's available. But I'm getting Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Nintendo 64. So just mainly cartridge-based systems and home consoles, no handheld yet. So I've got the box of 4, so I should have 4 games in here. So let's take a look at what we got. Feels like a Genesis game. It is Jurassic Park. There you go. Remember playing this years ago. My best friend had this, and remember if he rented it or if he owned it, but I remember playing it over at his house. He had the Genesis, I had the Super Nintendo, so that's kind of how we handled things. But I remember this being pretty good. I have the Super Nintendo version. I remember the Genesis version being better, so we'll check that one out. Let's see. Feels like a 64 cart. Pull that out. Red cart. Spider-Man. So judging by that font, it's probably maybe from the movie. Doesn't have the year on there, so I'm not sure. I don't remember Spider-Man being on the 64, but Spider-Man is my favorite comic book character, so always good to have a Spider-Man game. And I love the red cards. I need to get like Maximum Carnage and all those other ones, because those always look cool, just having that cartridge sitting on the shelf. Alright, so let's see what else we got. It's a Nintendo game. Skate or Die. Now this one I used to have. I have no idea what happened to my original copy. Label's peeling up a little bit right there in the corner, but that's okay. And up here in the top as well. A little piece in there. But I remember some of the events being not too hard, and some of them being balls out hard for no good reason. But I remember having a lot of fun with that. So good to have that one back. And the last game is Excitebike. So funny thing about Excitebike, I was at a store sometime last week, I think it was, and I saw Excitebike there, and it was priced appropriately for market value, but I was being cheap and didn't feel like buying it that day, and I figured, hey, well, I can always go back and pick it up. It'll be here, most likely. Now I don't have to. Got it here. Awesome. So that's a pretty good month. Not bad. Not spectacular, but not bad. Some good titles in there. Especially that Excitebike and the Jurassic Park. Spider-Man too. So, and Skate or Die, I've had that before, so yeah, it's good to have those back. So that's awesome. So one more thing that I actually found in the box that I didn't notice initially, rolled up in the bubble wrap, They always add a little extra trinket like the like koozie from last month. Is a video games monthly bottle opener. So this is pretty cool, especially with the koozie. Kind of go along with that. And I think the really cool thing is that it's got that little piece right there is a magnet. So it'll, you can stick it on your refrigerator or something like that. So it's easy access, and just pop the top, stick it back up there for when you need it. So that's pretty good. Pretty cool. So thanks guys. Appreciate this one. This is probably the handiest of the add-ons, for me anyway. So yeah, there you go. We'll get to the pickups. So not a ton of pickups that I have to show you, but some interesting things. Let me kind of sort these a little bit. So this is a combination of runs to one of our local flea markets, as well as some stuff that I found at Goodwill. Goodwill, aside from that one video where I showed you all those Japanese carts, pretty much never have cartridges. So all disc-based things there, but I do have some carts that I picked up. So if you recall, in a previous couple videos, I think I talked about this guy and his overpriced games. He wants to flat rate everything at $10, and I keep trying to explain to him every game is not worth $10. So I talked him down to 2 for $15. He didn't want to budge any lower than that. So what I did was I found Gyromite. And I didn't have Gyromite, but what interested me was that it was a 5-screw. So I figured, okay, let me grab this, but he wants $10 for it, and it's not $10. So I'm not paying $10 for this. So I looked at what else he had, and one other game was interesting, and it was more in the $10 market. So for the 2 for $15 was not bad, and the other one was Elevator Action. So this is a pretty fun game. Kind of, arcade style game. But yeah, so those weren't bad pickups. Just about everything was market value that I found, with the exception of a couple that I'll show you in just a second. So another guy, he had some stuff, some interesting things. I walked away from him at first, and then I came back. He was a little on the annoying side, and he was one of those guys that basically he's trying to make it sound like what he has is special, and it's not. He had nothing but common, so it's not like he had any really rare games. But he tried to say that Super Nintendo games and Nintendo 64 games were rare, and he had a bunch of them. So how rare can they be if you've got so many? And I'm like, no, there's plenty of other people that have tables with these games, and they're not rare. They're not hard to find, these games. There's some that are on those systems that are rare, but that what you have is not rare. So the one game that I decided to go ahead and get from him was Pac-Man 2: The New Adventures for Super Nintendo. Now, honestly, I don't know much about this game. It's Pac-Man. I believe, if memory serves me correctly, it's a platformer. I haven't had a chance to really look it up and or actually even pop it in and play it. But he tried to tell me that this game was worth like $40 or $50, and he was being nice by letting it go for $8. And I had to bust his bubble and show him I already had looked it up and knew exactly how much it was worth. And he was pretty much right on the money. I mean, it was like $9, I think, something like that. So I got it for $8. So, and he laughed because when I walked away and when I came back, he was like, "Oh, what'd you do? Walk away and look it up?" And I was like, "No, I looked it up right in front of you. I have no problems looking it up. That you're full of it. These games aren't rare." So, and he had some GameCube games. I actually was looking for some GameCube games, but he didn't really have anything I was interested in, and he had them all packed away. It was people walking around looking for GameCube games. I'd heard a couple people asking about them from some people, and he's got them hidden. It was weird. It was just weird. But enough rambling. So there was another table Lady had a stack of all disc-based games. So I looked through the stack and I saw a couple of things that piqued my curiosity. So I asked her how much. She said 5 a piece. Oh, I could do 5 a piece on some of these all day. But the first one that caught my eye, I'll show you this one first, was on Xbox. It's Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. And you gotta see, we're still getting that glare. Super Monkey Ball Deluxe for the Xbox. And it is complete. And the disc is in great condition. That attracted my attention first. So I said, well, what else does she have? This is before I found out they were 5 apiece. So I look over, not really looking for PS2 games right now, but I saw this, and I've never heard this game existing before. I thought I've heard of all in this series, but I had to grab this one, R-Type Final for PS2. Now, like I said, I've never heard of R-Type Final, and I've seen many R-Type games, but not this one. So I had to grab this one, especially when she said 5 apiece. This, and it's complete. And the disc on this thing looks even better than the Monkey Ball. I mean, this thing doesn't even look like it's ever been played before. I mean, it looks amazing. You probably can't see how good it is, but it looks great. So, only downside is there's a little chip missing in the case, but that's the case. I can swap the cases out, so that's not a big issue. I've got to give this a run. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but this I was intrigued by it. So, each of these games are worth more than $5. So, that was a great deal. So that kind of balanced out the rest of the stuff from that flea market. So, that was everything from there. So we ran around to a bunch of different Goodwills on a different side of town that we don't normally go to, just to have something different and have kind of a day of exploring and see what we could find. So a few things we came across that were interesting, but nothing noteworthy. It's a little mad about there was a GameCube copy of NBA Street 3. And I know you're probably saying it's a sports game. What's the big deal? It was the NBA Street 3 on the GameCube has the Mario characters, and they're playing basketball against the NBA players, which is pretty cool. And the problem was that when I opened it up, it was a Rainbow Six game that was in there. So it didn't even have the game in there. I was really disappointed because I really wanted to grab that. But we did find a couple other things. First thing I found at one of them was another PS2 game, The Sopranos: Road to Respect. I know this is like a Grand Theft Auto type game, but I've never played the Sopranos game before. And again, it's complete. So, I figured why not? Disc is in good condition. Why not grab it and try it out? I love the show. Phenomenal series. If you haven't watched it, shame on you. You need to go watch The Sopranos. Watch every single episode. One of the greatest series to ever come on TV. And this, to my knowledge, actually has a lot of the actors from the show doing voices. So this will be interesting to give a try. So we ran around to some other ones. Came across one, and they actually had a ton of Sims games. You can always find Sims games at Goodwill. If you're a Sims fan, go to Goodwill. You'll find a bunch of games, Sim games, and add-on packs and stuff like that. Not into that, but we did find some other stuff. First thing that piqued my interest, I usually pass on the PC games they have. There's usually quite a few of them. But this one, Ghostbusters, a video game. I remember playing this on the original, I think it was on the original Xbox. Might have been 360. But I remember playing this, and I mean, it's basically Ghostbusters 3. They never actually made a third movie in the series. We're not counting the new one with all female cast. That movie sucks. We're not counting that one. And it's not because of females. Don't even start putting those comments in there. Has nothing to do with them. Bad movie's a bad movie, gender regardless. It's probably why they never made a Ghostbusters 3, because they didn't have a good script. But this is actually, from what they said when it came out, Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis said they wrote the script to this, and they said essentially this would be what Ghostbusters 3 would have been, and everybody's voices in it. I remember playing it, and it was actually pretty good. I figured it would look and play even better on the PC. This is in great condition. It's got everything in there. The book with the code in it to license the game and everything. So, $5. Why not? Oh, and that Sopranos was half price, by the way. So that was a good one. That's the main reason why I went and grabbed it. It was half price. So it was like $2 or something like that. And the last game here was I kind of almost hesitated just because it's just a little cardboard sleeve, but the code is on the outside for the authorization and everything, so I figured why not. Is Diablo 3. So I never really got into the Diablo series, but it looks fun, and I've got friends that have played it and they really enjoyed it, so I figured why not. Like I said, the disc is in there. It's in great condition. The code is on the outside here, so on that little sticker. So we figured why not give it a try, So we got some stuff to play around with, and we're gonna try to get some live streams of some of this stuff going, to have kind of share some of these, probably especially at R-Type. It's probably dumb hard, but because that's the nature of R-Type. Most of those shoot 'em ups, or shmups as some people like to call them, are usually pretty hard, but R-Type is always especially hard. So, but still fun. So we'll give those a try. Elevator Action is definitely going to be a good one to play, and maybe we'll give some Ghostbusters a try. But we'll try to get some of this stuff up and show you guys some gameplay of some of this stuff. Make sure you like and subscribe, so that way when these videos go live. When we do our news feeds every week, those go up on Tuesdays, so it'll be like the recap for some of the news items for the previous week. Trying to do some different things in there, not just the same typical news that everybody's talking about. We'll mention like the Call of Duties and things like that, but we try to put some other stuff in there, like we talk about Main Six's game, them fighting herds, the mobile Transformers game, different things like that. So if you haven't checked those videos out, make sure you check out the news feeds every Tuesday, and then we'll get some gameplay videos up, some live streams. So make sure you like and subscribe, and that's all for us. So thank you for watching. Catch you later.